Hey everybody, Baker here from Board Online, Board Offline. Today I'm bringing you a review of a really old game. It's an abstract game. It's the first true abstract game I've owned. It's called Quoridor or Quoridor. Not sure if it's a qua there or not. It's definitely not part of the Quoridor thing. So point is, it's spelled Q-U, but it's about corridors. So whatever. Abstract games always like to have crazy misspelled names for some reason. So let's go with Quoridor. And this is a game, I found it in a thrift store for $5. And so I decided, hey, you know what? The closest thing I've got to a true abstract at this point is Hive, which while its mechanics are abstract for the most part, there is a thin layer of theme on that one. So Quoridor seemed, there I go, Quoridor seemed like a good idea. Let's go check it out and see what this game's all about. So here it is. This is essentially all the components that you're going to get with a Quoridor. Now there are two more pawns, but I mean that's for the 4-player version of this game. And perfectly honest, I don't see how that could really be an improvement on this game itself. I think it would be too chaotic. I'll admit I have not played with 4 players, but really I'm interested in this game as a 2-player game. And basically what you're going to do, you've got these 2 pawns and you just are trying to get to the opposite side of the board. Meanwhile, throwing walls up in front of your opponent who'll have to move around them or that sort of thing. And they can only move, you can only move one space at a time, so you can keep throwing up walls. You have to make sure there's always a route to the other side of the board. But, you know, as you're going along and they're throwing up walls and you move this way and here's another one and now, which way do I go? Oh, over here, and they do this, and now all of a sudden do I start going around, or maybe I'll go this way, and they throw up another one here, and now I got to go that way. That's the type of thing we're looking at here with this game. And it can be, it's a very simple game. There's not much to it in terms of you only have 2 actions. You either move one space orthogonally, or you throw up a wall. Or they call it a fence in this game, but really it looks more like a wall, right? I don't know. I guess you can see over it, fence, whatever. Wall, fence, either way, the point is the same. Those are only 2 actions. Move, build a fence. Now, when you're doing this, you know, it's important. You got to decide now, is now the time to build it, or am I going to try to keep moving around what they're building? And also, as I'm throwing up these walls in front of him, I got to remember that, you know, I've kind of created a good way for me to get down here until I get down to here and he throws a fence up right there. And now all of a sudden, because of what I built here and then what he just built there, I bought myself in and I've got to go all the way around here while he's working his way around this way. I feel like this is a game that, you know, the box that takes 15 minutes, we have never played a game that lasted longer than 6 minutes, I don't think. And granted, I'm playing primarily with my 9-year-old daughter, and we are playing pretty fast, and we're not doing a whole lot of analysis into our moves other than, you know, we'll take a few seconds and then we make a move and that sort of thing. I would imagine that probably you could really start to AP this game out and really think, well, if I do this, you know, if I put something here, then he's going to put something there, and then maybe I'll move here, but then he'll put something here. So maybe I should just go around this way. And, you know, it's really one of those, you know, he knows that if he puts this here, then I'll move there. And so then maybe he'll do this other thing in anticipation of me knowing what he's going to do, which is in anticipation of knowing what I'm going to do. And it can go back and forth like that and turn into a bit of a cycle, I suppose. And maybe that's where a 15-minute game could come from. But for the most part, I think most people are going to play this game and each match is going to last 5, maybe 10 minutes. And for a 5 to 10 minute game, I think that there's a lot of fun here. It's, you know, it's something that you're going to play 2 or 3 times and maybe you're going to be done with it for a little while. But those 2 or 3 times are worthwhile. The components are very solid. These are very solid pawns, and the board itself is a very solid, you know, piece of wood. Quality components all around as far as all that goes. However, this is going to run you, looks like around $35 on Amazon right now is what I'm saying. I found this at a thrift store for $5, and to be perfectly honest, for me, and keep in mind, I'm not the biggest abstract game fan, but I feel like I don't think I'd want to pay any more than $10 for this, really. $35 is, in my opinion, just way too much. Now, if you can find this in a thrift store for less than that, I would say buy this game. If all you can do is find it on Amazon for the, $35, $40 they're charging right now, I would pass on this. So with that in mind, let's go back up to the top for final thoughts. So there you go. That is Quoridor. It is very, very simple to learn. I'd imagine that there's a decent amount of depth in there if you really start thinking your way through the moves and everything and trying to figure out what your opponent's going to do and where they're going to block you off. But for the most part, this is a very, very quick game that anybody can pick up. My 9-year-old daughter took to it like that and can stand toe-to-toe with me playing this game. Now, maybe that's a commentary on me. Maybe she's a genius. I don't know. Point is, this game isn't that difficult to get your brain wrapped around as far as playing it on a basic level. Like I said before, I would not recommend going out and buying this game at full price. I do not think it's worth that. However, I do think it's worth the discounted price you're going to find in a thrift store for sure. Now, keep in mind, I'm not an abstract game type of guy. Like I said before, Hive is the closest thing I've got to an abstract game. I like Hive all right. It's not the most amazing game in the world for me either. If you like abstracts, there might be a lot more here for you. In fact, I'd say there probably is a lot more here for you. So keep that in mind. Remember that I am a very theme-heavy type of guy, and the fact that I enjoy this game at all should probably be some commentary on just how good this game is. So that's Quoridor. I hope you enjoyed this video, and you can find me on Twitter at BoredOffline. And until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.
For watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.